In today's climate, nothing will make you a more accurate or confident shooter than Crimson Trace laser sighting systems. Get the immediate, decisive advantage of the world's only grip-integrated laser sights today. Shoot better. Stay safer. Crimson Trace.
Lock and load. It's time to load up on some intellectual ammunition with Tom Gresham's Gun Talk. It doesn't matter if you learn to shoot with Daniel Boone or you're brand new. You're welcome here. This is the original national talk show about guns, and Tom Gresham is your guide through the maze of ballistics and politics. So grab your phone and call in right now, 866-825-5486, or just dial 1-TOM-TALK-GUN. Now, here's Tom. Today on Gun Talk, who's ready for the smart gun?
Guns can be made more safe by making them either through fingerprint identification, the gun talks to a bracelet or something that you might wear.
Attorney General Eric Holder said the technology which can shut off your gun is something the DOJ wants to explore. Tom will fill you in. Plus, he's the award-winning designer of the 50th anniversary Ruger 1022 rifle that we're giving away this month to a Gun Talk listener. And new guns and loads just announced, plus your questions and comments. 866-TALK-GUN. Call now. Here's Tom.
Oh, man, I tell you what, we have been having some fun this week. We have been shooting the first week of studio work for the Guns and Gear television show. It's allowed me to see and handle a whole bunch of cool guns and ammo and accessories and lasers and lights and all sorts of stuff we'll be talking about. It's when we bring everybody into the studio and we videotape them, we interview them about their neat product, and then a little bit later on, Ryan will go out to the range and shoot all this stuff and play with it, use it, demonstrate it, show it off. Yeah. I know, it's a terrible life, but we enjoy the heck out of it. Had Rob Latham in, John Veer from Timney Trigger, a whole bunch of different folks, Crimson Trace guys, some really interesting stuff and some great conversations. And we're going to continue those conversations right here. Tell you what I've done. I've cleared the deck for you. We do not have a guest lined up for this hour. We've had a lot of guests recently, and I wanted to just have some time for us to talk, for you to call in with your comments, your questions, your thoughts. You can go random. It's all right. We'll go pretty much wherever you want to go. You know, we always have, of course, the regular requirements. We don't talk about doing irresponsible things because we are the good guys and gals. We're the ones who use guns responsibly and safely. And kind of beyond that, if it's about guns, we'll talk about it. You know, and if, honestly, I do mean this, if you don't like guns, if you don't get the whole thing with guns and why people like their guns and why people shoot their guns, well, call us. We'll have that conversation. I'm not going to try to convince you otherwise. I would like to know why. I've never quite gotten it. I don't understand when people just say, I hate guns. That's like saying I hate screwdrivers, at least to me. I mean, that's what it sounds like. It's nonsensical. You go, well, I hate staple guns. I hate rulers. What? It's just a thing. How do you hate a thing? Now, if you say, I hate the misuse of guns, okay, I'm on the same page with you. We're there. We'll march side by side right down the middle of the street. I'll join you for that one. I hate the misuse of guns. I hate it when people use guns irresponsibly. But I don't just hate it, I actually do something about it. We, gun owners, do something about it. We engage in education generally being accepted as being a good thing. We teach gun safety. We have 50,000 plus certified firearms instructors. Actually, it's probably closer to 100,000 now. Certified firearms instructors throughout the country. We teach gun safety. We hold first shots events where we bring people out who want to shoot and we teach them how to do it safely. We've introduced more than 10 million children to gun avoidance. Let me say that again, gun avoidance programs. Young children who shouldn't be handling a gun. So the program is called Eddie Eagle. If they see a gun, they don't touch it, they leave the area, they tell an adult. That's what we do. And how's it going so far? How's it working? Well, so far, so good. Real well, actually. The number of accidental firearms deaths is down significantly. Oh, I'd say, if you hit the lowest point ever, that would be significant. That's where we are. We're at the lowest point since we started recording firearms accidents, accidental deaths. The number of children killed in firearms accidents is at the lowest point ever recorded by the National Safety Council. Now, we have more guns by millions. We have more gun owners by millions. We have more exposure, a lot. And yet, the number of fatal gun accidents keeps going down. How can this be? Because we're told that more guns equals more crime. More guns equals more suicides. More guns equals more accidents. More guns makes no difference if the people who own the guns are responsible, if they're educated, if they are careful. So we, gun owners, the gun-owning community, through the likes of concealed carry instructors throughout the country, through the likes of NRA-certified instructors, through the likes of many, many, many police departments, which hold firearms familiarization courses and gun safety courses and even concealed carry classes. Yes, the police departments hold those. Women's defense classes. We, the gun owners, are doing something about it rather than wringing our hands and saying, this is horrible, I hate guns. Your choice, however you want to handle it. 866-TALK-GUN will get you in here. A lot of things cooking we want to talk about. Here's one. If you have a Remington Model 700 or a Model 7 rifle, pay attention. Big, big recall. Remington Arms is voluntarily, I'm reading from their release, voluntarily recalling Remington 700 and Model 7 rifles with X Mark Pro triggers, manufactured from May 1, 2006 to April 9, 2014. So essentially, if it was made on or after May 1, 2006, it is recalled. You can go to my Twitter feed. I have a link to it there. I am at Gun Talk on Twitter. You can probably just Google up Remington Model 700 recall. You can go to their website. But you need to check your serial number. If you have a Remington 700 or a Model 7 rifle, you need to check your serial number, see if it is in the recall batch. Of course, what a lot of people have done, some because of perceived issues with Remington triggers, and some just because they want a good trigger, they've replaced the trigger on their rifles, which is certainly a decent way to go. I was with John Veer from Timney Trigger last week, and John said, we've sold an awful lot of Remington 700 triggers, probably as a result of the hatchet job by the media, but there it is. But at the least, you're getting a good trigger. Amazing. Here's something. Do you remember when factory guns came with lousy triggers and the gun maker said, that's all we can do, we can't do anything about it? They have to be lousy because of our attorneys, because of our liability. And then what changed? Because now we got good triggers. We have adjustable triggers, which would have been unthinkable 20 years ago. Gun makers would never have thought of saying, well, you can have an adjustable trigger, that way you can lighten it. I joked many times that for some of these rifle makers, the last person on the assembly line was a lawyer who adjusted the trigger, and if he could get it to where it wouldn't go off at all, he was happy. That's not really true, but some of them felt like it. What happened to change all this? Was it Savage bringing out the AccuTrigger and offering a good trigger that was safe? And once people started shooting good triggers on factory guns, they went, wow, that like makes me more accurate. Yes, it does. Good triggers help you be more accurate. I don't know. What's your thoughts on that? Do you shoot factory trigger? Do you customize it? Do you put a replacement trigger in? I'd like to know. 866-TALK-GUN. Let's talk to Kyle on line 3 out of Tennessee. Hello, Kyle.
Hello, sir. Tom, I'm an avid Second Amendment person. I've had my carry permit for several years now, but Tennessee, our legislature just passed a bill through. The governor hasn't approved it yet, but a open carry. And I have some as much as big a Second Amendment person as I am, I have some trepidation about this because I have some fear of just some hot dogs out here strapping on a gun just because they can. Am I valid in my fears, or what's your opinion on this?
Number one, yes, you are valid in your fears. And the follow-on question, though, is it important enough for us to really worry about? And I would probably offer no. In my opinion, my experience, there are going to be a few people who are going to open carry just as a look at me move. But that gets old pretty quickly. And as long as they're not complete jerks about it, that goes away. Open carry is certainly a decent option in a lot of places, a lot of times. It's certainly more comfortable, my heavens. In summer especially, when you really don't have much of a cover garment, open carrying is a great way to go. I would offer this: if you're going to open carry, and there's nothing wrong with it, but if you're going to open carry, please consider getting a retention holster, a holster that you have to do something, push something, lever something to get the gun out so somebody can't just grab your gun and snatch it out. All the police departments around the country use retention holsters for that very reason. Because if somebody can see your gun, they can snatch it up. If it's concealed, they're not going to do that. But I don't know, Kyle, kind of what's your thinking when you look at open carry?
Well, now, I failed to mention that from what I understand, this open carry legislation, you do not have to go through a class or any process like the permit holders. Of course, our carry permit in Tennessee is a carry permit, not a concealed carry. A carry permit holder can carry open. Okay. This new legislation, you can open carry without going through any class or training.
You know, it's interesting. I fall squarely on both sides of this one. I'm a big believer that people should get training, and it's good for you to get training. On the other hand, I don't think we should require training. And that comes from this. This is interesting. We have several states now where you can conceal carry or open carry with absolutely no training. There is no discernible difference in those states versus states that require training in the misuse of guns, accidental use of guns, the people who pretend they're going to be or want to be cops, anything like that. There's just no difference. So the takeaway from this is very interesting, is that all this training, boy, it's going to drive people crazy when I say this, may not make any difference at all. Now, I mean, I think it would be good if people would educate themselves on what the law is and when you can and when you can't. But right now, the empirical data seems to be indicating that there's no difference between states that require training or a permit and those that don't. And if that's the case, maybe we shouldn't be so worried about open carry or not requiring a permit or not requiring training. I don't know. What do you think? I'm sure everybody has an opinion on this one. Training is good, but should it be mandatory? And furthermore, in many states, isn't required training, isn't the required permit more of a revenue source for the state than anything else? 866-TALK-GUN, 866-TALK-GUN.
Federal Premium Ammunition revolutionized turkey hunting with the innovative Flight Control Wad, giving you tighter patterns for more pellets on target. Choose between copper-plated lead or the Megadent Shot Heavyweight. Try the number 7 Heavyweight for maximum pellet count and bone-crushing performance. Now available in 10 and 20 gauge. Federal Premium Ammunition. Every shot counts.
Hi, I'm Tom Gresham. For more than 40 years, I've been watching an environmental disaster in my backyard, and it actually impacts all sportsmen in America. I'm talking about the massive loss of land on the Louisiana coastline. The U.S. Geological Survey said the swamps and marshes of coastal Louisiana are among the nation's most fragile and valuable wetlands. That land is disappearing. The Mississippi River Delta hosts as many as 10 million ducks and geese every winter. These are birds which migrate northward through the states, all the way to Canada. The wetlands of the Delta support some of America's best fresh and saltwater fishing. And here's the deal. The wetlands of the Mississippi River Delta are disappearing at a rate of 1 football field every hour. 1 football field every hour. Gone. We can reconnect the river with its wetlands and restore the Delta, but we need your help. Please visit vanishingparadise.org. That's vanishingparadise.org.
In the war on terror, fighting crime in the streets, in competition and homes around the world, one name in firearms stands out: Sig Sauer. Our pistols and rifles are renowned for their unfailing performance. This same commitment to excellence can be found in our line of SigTac accessories and the training offered by the Sig Sauer Academy. For unmatched quality, reliability, and innovation when it counts, choose Sig Sauer. Visit sigsauer.com today.
Are you looking for a place to shoot? The National Shooting Sports Foundation has a great website called wheretoshoot.org. It's the largest database of shooting ranges on the internet. It's also a great resource for shooters where you can find video tips, printable targets, and a lot more. Find it online at wheretoshoot.org. And while you're there, download their free iPhone app. That's wheretoshoot.org.
Enter to win the 50 Years of 1022 giveaway with Ruger. Grand prize includes the 50th Anniversary Design Contest Ruger 1022 rifle, a 1022 50th Anniversary case, t-shirt and decal, and a sling with magazine pouch. Each week, 5 first prize winners will receive a Ruger prize pack consisting of a tactical backpack, a 1022 50th Anniversary t-shirt, and a set of 10 plastic stadium cups. Enter to win at guntalk.com/giveaway. Good luck. And now back to Tom.
All right, 866-TALK-GUN, or just dial 1-TOM-TALK-GUN. I need some help. Down here in Louisiana, where I happen to live, we got a weird one. We got a bill introduced in the legislature that we really need some action on. If you are in Louisiana, this thing is going to come to the committee on Wednesday of this week. HB 13, lucky, or in this case, unlucky 13. By State Representative Badon would require training before you can buy a gun. You would have to show proof that you had passed a training class before you could purchase any firearm in the state. This will get people killed. Let me just say that again. This is nothing more than a waiting period with dollars attached that will get people killed. A woman who is being assaulted and needs protection and goes to buy a gun, and they say, well, I'm sorry, you can't buy a gun because you have to take an NRA safety class first. So she is now susceptible to attacks. She can't protect herself. It's a bad bill. Here's what we need. I need you to contact your state legislators in the next couple of days. Go to the website, and you can click on that. You can find your legislator. If you can possibly find the time, get down to the state capitol Wednesday morning. There's going to be a whole bunch of gun folks there. We need you there. If you can spare a morning, come down to the state capitol Wednesday morning. We need to defeat this one. And basically, here's what we got to do. It's not just defeating it. You got to, as we say, send a message. We got to have so many people show up that they think, holy smoke, we're never going to touch this again. We got to have standing room only in the committee room. So that's this Wednesday, state capitol. Show up there. Be there about 8:30 or so, 8:30 to 9, and you'll be good to go. I know it sounds crazy, but there it is. I don't know why people introduce dumb bills, but oh yeah, I do. But I just don't want to say it on the air. Let's see. Line 2, Kevin's with us in Medford, Oregon. Hey, Kevin, your son's in the Navy? Hey, Kevin, you there? Okay, Kevin put his phone down and went to get a sandwich. Put him back on hold. We'll go down to Benjamin. We'll come back here. On line 1, Benjamin's out of Houston, Texas. Hey, Ben.
Hey, sir. I just found your show, and you seem to know a lot about guns. I'm pretty fresh to it, so
Okay.
I I just joined a group down here in Houston about a year ago. It's pushing the open carry movement, and I get in discussions with people all the time about which one's a good, what caliber is good. I'm comfortable with a full-size 380. I hate the kickback of a 9 or a 40 or anything like that. So just kind of wondering what's a good self-defense type of weapon that you would just recommend that's even comfortable for open carry?
Anything that you can shoot well is a good gun for self-defense. Number one that you have to do with the self-defense guns, you got to hit your target. And you got to make sure that you hit your target and you don't hit anybody else. So if a 380 is what's comfortable for you, then that works. If a 9 works, fine. If 40, 45, it doesn't matter. Truth be known, and here's the dirty little secret. The truth is, caliber doesn't really matter. It's all about being able to hit the target. If you can hit them with a 380 and you miss them with a 45, your miss doesn't do any good. For open carry, address that for just a second. We tend to go to smaller guns for concealed carry because they are easier to conceal. If you're going to open carry, that's not much of a factor. Now, weight becomes a factor. You put a 2-pound gun on full of ammo and it's dragging your pants down. That's not attractive and not comfortable. But you could go to a mid-size to a full-size gun, open carry, and get away with it. One thing I would add in, if you're new to all this, it is imperative that you use a gun belt. You will not find a gun belt at Walmart or any other store unless you go to a gun store. You probably will have to find your gun belt online, or maybe you can find it at a gun store. A gun belt. It's strong. It's 1.5 inches wide. It's thick. It will hold your gun up, especially open carry. So what I would suggest, honestly, is, Ben, you may want to go take, it's going to sound weird, take a concealed carry class even if you want to open carry. You'll be amazed at what you can learn there. And that will help you a lot of places in terms of what the law is, when you can, because it's going to be the same. When you can use a gun, when you can't use a gun. The laws on self-defense are the same whether you're concealed carrying or open carrying. So, there you go. Let's pick up line 4. I'll tell you what, we don't have time. Let's do this. I don't want to short you, Tom, so don't go anywhere, okay? Because this sounds like an interesting story. I've got less than a minute, and it wouldn't be fair to get you in there. We're going to get Tom, we're going to get Monty, we're going to get Jacob, but we're also going to get you involved here. Question for you. Have you ever put an aftermarket trigger in your gun? Rifle, shotgun? Yes, there are aftermarket triggers for shotguns. Handgun. If you've listened for any length of time, I'm a trigger snob. I love good triggers. And once you use good triggers, it's really hard to go back to anything that doesn't have a good trigger. But I'm curious. I've been putting good triggers in for a long, long time. Just curious of what your experience is, and have you ever had that aha moment and then hand your gun to somebody and they go, wow, yeah, I know. And people say, well, why would I buy an aftermarket trigger? My gun came with one. Well, it's one of those that if you've never experienced it, you don't get it, and if you have, you do.
Have you taken your family, friends, and kids shooting lately? You're listening to Tom Gresham's Gun Talk, and we'll be right back. Want to be a guest on the show? Drop us a line at info@guntalk.com. You're listening to Gun Talk with Tom Gresham.
All right, back with the 866-TALK-GUN. We'll get you in there. Don't forget, you need to go to guntalk.com/win, W-I-N, and enter for a chance to win a Ruger rifle, the 50th year commemorative 1022. In fact, later on today, we'll be talking with the designer of that gun. But you could actually win one if you go to guntalk.com/win, and you can enter for a chance to win our giveaway. Pretty cool deal. All right, now we have time. On line 4, Tom's joined us with an interesting story. Hey, Tom, how you doing?
I'm fine. How are you doing?
I'm good. What the heck happened, man?
Well, this is a strange thing. One of the boys in the neighborhood snuck under my garage door, came in my garage, and stole my shotgun.
Uh-huh.
And then he came in and was talking to me, and this is the next day. I didn't know it was gone. He come in and said, let me see your shotgun. I said, okay, and I open up my little safe, and it's gone. I said, it's gone. Well, anyways, long story short, he came back and asked me about it again, and I knew who took it. As soon as I saw him again, I said, this guy stole my gun. Anyways, the detectives, he went to pawn it, and then the detectives got on his butt a little bit, and they went down to one of the guys that he runs with, and the story came out, and the detectives came to me, and I went down to talk to the boy's mother. I said, he's want to go in the Army, right? I said, if he doesn't come clean by Monday, he's going to be charged with a felony. He's going to sweep gas stations the rest of his life. Well, he came down on Sunday and told me he had it, et cetera, et cetera. The detectives came down, and we went do all the kind of stuff. And they brought my gun back 2 or 3 days later. And she said, well, the lady said, do you have any more guns in this house? And I said, lady? That's not your concern.
Which lady?
The detective.
Oh, okay.
And she was grilling me about what I had, and I said her name was McKay, Deborah McKay. This is a little local place. Now, Barney Fife runs the police department.
Okay.
So I said, Pat, this is none of your business how many guns I have in here. I might have a cannon you don't know. And I don't like you even asking. She said, well, I'm going to find out. I said, no, you're not. You're not going to find out anything. She looked over on my workbench. She said, well, what's that thing over there? Oh, that's an 11. You've seen one of those before. She said, well, that's one you said you didn't have. I said, I didn't say I didn't have any. I said it was none of your business what I had.
So how did this thing end up?
Well, it ended up I got my shotgun back. Then they came again and asked me some more things, and I told them to just forget about it. And while you're standing around, give me back the 7 shells that were on the barrel.
So the police are asking how many guns you have, and I think you answered it absolutely correctly. It's none of your business. Thank you for your help. Good day. Close the door. End of conversation.
All right. They brought my shells back and wanted to know about my wife. I said, my wife works for a federal judge. He's the highest judge in Louisiana. Probably it'd be a good idea if you didn't get involved with that.
Yeah, here's the thing, and you got to understand. It's not illegal for police officers to ask you anything. Really? And if they ask you and you answer, then whose fault is that? You did the right thing. You just look. Police can ask you anything, and many times the correct response is, I don't think we're going to talk about that today. But thanks for your help, and we'll see you later.
That's about what had happened.
There you go. I think you did it just right, Tom. I appreciate you sharing that story with us. Let's scoot down to line 3. Monty's with us out of North Dakota. Hey, Monty.
Hello, sir. I was out hunting deer with my wife several years ago, and I had several military guys, probably 6 to 10 of them, hunting across posted land, shoot over my wife's head, and it made me furious. I made them turn around, and I later got involved with trying to get hunter safety into the area. Well, my daughter, when she was born, and many years later, about 30 years later, having had hunter safety course and being raised in my house part of her life, grabs a shotgun and shoots a hole through the wall. Just because they have the course don't mean they learned what they need to know to be safe.
Well, that's a good point. Yeah, just taking the class. And look, I believe that education is good, but it's still, you have to exercise caution, which means you have to assume that every gun is loaded, which means you never point a gun at anything you don't want to destroy. And every time you pick up a gun, you check the action to make sure it's unloaded. I mean, just that is the first thing. When you pick it up, bang, action's open. Pick it up, click it open every time. That's the very first thing you do when you pick a gun up. And if you hand your gun to me, I'm going to open the action, and I'm going to check it to make sure that it's unloaded. And probably if I'm standing there, I'm going to open it several more times just to check it. But I appreciate that, Monty. It's, taking the class is good, but more important than that is inculcating that information into your behavior patterns so that you are behaving safely. Jacob's on 2 out of Alaska. Hello, Jacob.
How's it going?
I'm good. You're Trigger.
I'm much like you. I'm a trigger snob. I love a good trigger for my AR-15s. I absolutely am in love with the American Gold trigger. I don't think I've found a better one on the market available. But I was wondering if you knew of anybody that made an aftermarket trigger for an M14 M1A style rifle?
I do. Limited supply. Check crazyhorserifles.com. crazyhorserifles.com. It looks like that's a trigger that a lot of the serious rifle shooters, sniper types like. But there are several of them out there if you do a little internet search. But that's one that came up pretty quickly that was referenced by several different people. Okay?
I will definitely check that out. Thank you.
Good deal. All right, good luck. Diana is on line one. Which is it? Is it Diana or Deanna? Oh, sorry, Diana, she did drop off. Sorry about that. Let's go pick up Tom down in Wyoming on line 4. Hey, Tom.
Hi, how are you doing today?
I'm good.
Hey, I just want to compliment you on your show. I've never had guns, nor I never will. I come out of the badlands of East Los Angeles and Compton, where guns were always misused, and but I've been in Wyoming probably for about 15 years, and I think those people that oppose guns really don't understand the history of guns, and if they listen to your show, they'd have a greater appreciation. I know when I came out to Wyoming, I've got a great appreciation for guns. Never opposed them, but an example, a good thing about guns is, like a friend of mine, they took their granddaughter out hunting for the first time. So you had daughter, father, and grandfather, and you have 3 generations spending some time together and doing family time. What a wonderful thing.
Isn't that wonderful? And the thing is about shooting, it's a lifetime sport. You can start at age 6 and shoot until you're 96 or 106. And you can, if you're a competitive shooter, you can compete in your 40s, 50s, and even 60s. There are many, many families that have a connection through shooting, through firearms, through competition, through hunting, through whatever. So, and the great part is you can hand these guns down, multi-generational. It's a wonderful thing. Appreciate the call, sir. 866-TALK-GUN. When I come back, I have to apologize to the folks in Florida. I'll own up to it when I come back.
Have you ever held a Walther? Walther handguns are an extension of your hand. From the moment you hold the ergonomic grip of a Walther, you feel the difference. Today, Walther continues its long tradition of expertise in firearm design with the introduction of 3 incredible new handguns. The smooth PPQ-M2, the tough PPX, and the cool PPKS-22. Log on now at waltherarms.com. Walther at your favorite retailer.
No matter what gun you have, you want it to hit harder, shoot faster and flatter, and be more accurate. You get all that with the ammunition from Double Tap. Double Tap's experts select the best bullets, then load them to higher velocities while keeping safe pressures. Shoot small groups. Shoot farther. Use custom hunting loads in your handgun or rifle. Even fire 2 projectiles with 1 shot. DoubleTapAmmo.com. That's DoubleTapAmmo.com.
Looking for shooting instruction but don't know where to go? Well, we have it, and you can access hours of training and safety videos, which you can watch on your home computer. On GunTalkTV.com, we have top competitive shooters, the best in self-defense trainers, and folks who have hunted all over the world, helping you learn which gun to buy, how to use it, how to store it safely, and everything else you need to be a safe and competent shooter. We also have gun makers showing off their newest rifles, shotguns, and handguns. Doesn't matter if you're a veteran shooter or a complete beginner. You'll find what you need at GunTalkTV.com. You can check it out for free, and you can get full access for only $5.95 a month. That gives you unlimited access to hundreds of videos, and we're adding more all the time. Run the videos over and over to make sure you understand what's being said. Skip around. You're in control. Get smarter. Shoot better. Visit GunTalkTV.com.
Tired of overpaying for one concealed carry holster after another that is flimsy, hard to hide, or just plain uncomfortable? At Alien Gear Holsters, less than $30 gets you a professional quality holster that's super stealthy and ultra comfortable. Every Alien Gear holster is backed by a forever warranty, a 30-day test drive, and free shell trades for life in case you buy a different gun. AlienGearHolsters.com. AlienGearHolsters.com.
The Ruger American Rifle is a 100% American-made firearm that offers outstanding performance at a great price. Available in standard size and compact models, it features power bedding integral bedding blocks, a Ruger Marksman adjustable trigger, a flush-fit 4-round rotary magazine, and a 3-lug bolt with 70-degree throw. Compact models feature a shorter length of pull and a shorter barrel for a reduction in overall length of more than 5 inches. The Ruger American Rifle, another rugged, reliable firearm from Ruger.
Gun Talk encourages you to support the local sporting goods store, gun stores, ATV dealers, and other local businesses in your area who advertise on this station and Gun Talk. Only together can we protect our rights. You're listening to Tom Gresham's Gun Talk.
866 Talk Gun gets you in here. Line 3, Caleb is with us out of Wolverton, Minnesota. Hey, Caleb, you looking for a 223 for deer?
Yeah, I was wondering if it can kill a deer effectively.
Well, yeah, absolutely. Do you have a 223?
No, but our state regulations say the minimum gun for shooting deer is a 220. Yeah, 220. And so I was wondering if it can effectively kill deer.
Well, absolutely. Now, the key would be if you wanted to hunt deer with a... Let me back up. Are you saying the state regulations allow the use of a 223 or do not allow it?
They allow it.
Okay, they allow it. All right, because some states don't. But that's pretty much going away because they figured out that it actually is very effective. The key to this, and this is really, really important, is there are essentially 3 different kinds of bullet types that are loaded into 223 ammunition. There are varmint bullets, which are designed to expand very quickly, and you're not going to get very much penetration. They're designed for shooting prairie dogs, groundhogs, things like that. That would not be a good bullet to use for deer hunting. Then there are full metal jacket bullets or match bullets, which are both of those are pretty much designed to not expand, or they're not designed around expansion. And then there are hunting bullets. The key is to picking a good hunting bullet. I see that Barnes loads its TSX bullets. Double Tap Ammo loads the Barnes TSX bullets. Those are great for hunting. So if you're going to hunt deer with a 223, don't just run down to the store and buy a box of 223 ammo. You need to make sure it is loaded with bullets, your projectiles, that are designed for hunting. Otherwise, you're liable to get something that either just punches a hole through them, that's not going to work well, full metal jacket, or something that blows up on the skin and doesn't get penetration, and that's not going to work well either. So pick your ammo, and the 223 can be a real good choice. Appreciate that, Caleb. Paul's on 1 out of Oregon. Hey, Paul, what you looking for?
Well, 2 things. 870 Remington. I put a trigger kit in it by Timney, and major improvement.
Isn't that amazing?
Good trigger before, excellent trigger now. Yes, it made a difference. But I'm looking for anybody who makes a trigger improvement for the Ruger Mini 14, Mini 30. They have horrible triggers. I love Rugers, but
yeah,
they're military-type triggers, and they're not designed for great shooting.
You know, and I don't, just offhand, I would have to look up. You know, I would probably go to, have you looked on the Brownells website?
I've got their catalog on the way, and I'll go look on their website.
Yeah, take a look at Brownells. They would be my go-to place for that, to see if there is, in fact, a replacement trigger. Now, I know that a lot of people get their triggers worked on by gunsmiths. Now, that's a whole different deal. It's not a drop-in. But, you know, I tell you what, and I should know this, I just don't. If somebody knows if there's a good replacement trigger for a Mini 14, give us a holler, and then Paul and I will both be smarter, so that'll work out. Thank you, Paul. I appreciate that. Man, a good trigger simply makes you a better shooter. And when you're a better shooter, you enjoy shooting a whole lot more. You have more confidence. I have like maybe 3 rifles that have great triggers. I mean, just terrific triggers. And I have so much confidence in them. I just assume if I see it inside of 350 yards, it's no problem. It's not an issue. It's time to sharpen the knife and get ready to skin something because it's going to hit the ground. That's how much confidence having a good trigger gives me. And once again, if you haven't shot one, you just don't know. And when you shoot it, you go, oh, that's what he's been ranting about. I get it. The folks at Timney do really good triggers. Hey, be right back.
You don't have to agree with Tom to participate in the show. Call now with any of your concerns about guns, gun rights, or particular firearms, or suggestions for your shooting activity or personal protection. 1-866-825-5486. Gun Talk is coming right back.
All right, back with you. Let's go straight to the phone. Steve's in Sutton, Alaska on 4. Hello, Steve. What you got? Oh, Steve just went away. Sorry about that. Let's go to Ed in Wasilla, Alaska, just up the street there. Hey, Ed.
Hi, Tom. I wanted to mention Geissele triggers. Well, I put one in one of my ARs, and after I shot that, I just couldn't go back to a factory trigger. Huge difference.
Let me ask you a question. How many rounds did it take for you to get spoiled?
About 3.
It's just what I thought. It's unbelievable, isn't it?
I put a Super 3-gun trigger just last week in my competition rifle, shot it Friday for the first time. And I didn't start competing until I was 51 years old. But, man, is it a blast, and boy, does it make a difference. If I wouldn't have shot the no-shoot Friday night, I would have done a lot better score-wise. But that trigger was spot on, and I was hitting the target first time every time, and, man, does it make a difference.
It's really amazing. Yeah, Geissele makes great triggers, and I know a lot of competition guys that use them in their ARs. It really is somewhere between 3 and 5 shots in your rifle, and you go, holy smoke. Let me ask you, Ed, did you have that, like, slapping yourself in the forehead kind of feeling when you shot one and finally went, now I get it?
Oh, yeah, especially when you start competing. You see these guys that do really well, and, I mean, that's kind of the guys that are the master of the trigger are the guys that win.
Mm-hmm.
And because they learn how to do the press and they get good equipment. And even, for me, still kind of on the rookie end of the deal, good equipment makes a big difference.
Yep, absolutely. It just, hey, look, it's almost like cheating, and as we say, if you're not cheating, you're not trying. Appreciate that, Ed. Let's go to Liston on line 1 out of Knoxville. Hey, Liston.
Hey, Tom, I wanted to talk to you about a constitutional open carry bill that's coming up for vote tomorrow in the Tennessee House.
What do people need to do?
Well, this bill passed the Senate 25-2 last week in the state Senate, and it's up for a vote tomorrow if people will get their state representatives to call to call for it to be brought out of committee. Representative Van Huss has invoked Rule Number 53, which is I don't know all of the rules there, but anyway, if he gets enough support, he can pull it straight from the committee to the House floor tomorrow and get it voted on. And it requires a 2/3 majority vote to bring it to the floor, and then another simple majority vote to get it passed.
How's it looking?
Well, politics is politics. I don't have a good prediction myself. It seems like there's some backroom things trying to keep it from passing the House, so the governor won't have to make good on a promise he made several years to sign such a bill.
And what we need is everybody in Tennessee needs to call their legislators, and both call them and email them, and say, we want the open carry bill passed.
HB 2409.
HB 2409. There you go. Hey, Liston, thank you for the heads up on that one. That's tomorrow, so you got to do it. I mean, you can go online. You can go to the legislature's website. You can find them and send an email to them now. Call their offices, leave a message. Not a bad idea to actually call their local office if they have one, and call their office in the state capitol. What you want is to essentially melt down their phone system. So they say, oh, holy cow. Otherwise, honestly, I've heard them say that. They'll say, I'm not really hearing from anybody on this. Or I'm only hearing from the antis on this. and they are like weak reeds in the wind. They will bend whichever way the wind blows. So you got to make sure that our wind is an absolute hurricane. So if you're in Tennessee, get on board. It is, look, open carry is good. Get involved, make the call. Be right back.
No black helicopters here, just the facts about gun rights and gun ownership. This is Gun Talk.